It started on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. I was sitting in my home office, buried in blueprints and cost estimates. Chloe walked in without knocking, her arms folded, eyes cold. She never interrupted me when I was working, but that day she didn't care. "We need to talk," she said firmly. I looked up, confused, thinking something terrible had happened. "Can you give me 10 minutes?" I asked. "I'm almost done with this bid." "No, Ethan," she said. "It can't wait another second." Her tone wasn't angry, but rehearsed, like she'd practiced every word. I saved my work, turned to face her, and waited. She took a deep breath, and her voice softened. "I've been thinking about my life, about who I am, about us." My stomach tightened. I knew this wasn't going anywhere good. "I'm not happy," she continued, looking down. "Not because of you, but because I've lost myself in this marriage." I blinked, trying to process it. "You have freedom," I said. "You paint, you see your friends, you do what you love." "It's not enough," she whispered. "I feel trapped, Ethan. I don't even know who I am anymore." I leaned back, speechless. Then she said the words that changed everything. "I want to take a break from being a wife. I need to find myself again." My first thought was that she was joking. "A break from our marriage." She nodded, deadly serious. "I've been looking into a pottery retreat in Costa Rica," she said. "It's for spiritual growth." "Costa Rica," I repeated. "That's not a weekend trip, Chloe." "It's 2 weeks, maybe longer. Then I might travel through South America afterward." The air in the room froze. "And what about your bills, your car, the house?" I asked carefully. She didn't even hesitate. "You'll still cover them," she said calmly. "I'm still your wife." I stared at her, stunned. "So let me get this straight," I said slowly. "You want to leave for months, travel the world, and I'm supposed to pay for it." "It's not about money," she said sharply. "It's about self-discovery." "Everything is about money when I'm the one earning it," I replied. Her eyes filled with tears, the kind she used when she wanted sympathy. "Why are you making this about control? I thought you wanted me to be happy." "I do," I said quietly, "but happiness shouldn't cost 5-star hotels." She turned away, angry now. "I need this," she said. "If I don't do it, I'll never know who I really am." "And if you go," I asked, "what happens to us then?" "I'll come back stronger, a better wife, a better person." I didn't believe her, but I didn't stop her either. That night, she packed her laptop and started browsing travel gear online. The cart total flashed almost $4,000. That's when I realized this wasn't a phase. It was a plan. And I was the one expected to pay for it. When she left the room, I sat there, staring at the blueprints, my hands shaking. The numbers on my screen didn't blur because of exhaustion. They blurred because I finally saw the truth. My marriage had turned into a transaction. And I was nothing more than the account paying for her freedom. 2 weeks later, I drove her to the airport. 4 massive suitcases, designer luggage, and a big smile on her face. She kissed me goodbye like she was going to summer camp, not leaving her husband. "This is for us, Ethan," she said softly. "I'll come back a better version of me." I nodded, too numb to argue. On the drive home, the silence in the car felt heavier than ever. That night, I opened our joint account. Within hours, the first charges appeared: resort booking, airfare, spa deposit. It had begun. The next morning, my phone buzzed with her message. "Landed safe. The resort is breathtaking. Sending love." Attached was a photo of her holding a smoothie beside an infinity pool. She looked peaceful, glowing, free. I wanted to feel happy for her, but all I saw were dollar signs. Each day brought new photos. Chloe meditating at sunrise. Chloe sculpting pottery, surrounded by jungle trees. Chloe smiling in designer swimwear captioned, "Living simply." Then came the expenses. $280 massage therapy, $400 in boutique shopping, $160 dinner for one. Every receipt was proof that finding herself came with a luxury price tag. By the end of week 1, she had spent nearly $7,000. I started tracking every charge in a spreadsheet. It became my new ritual, like accounting for heartbreak. My best friend Jake came over one night with pizza. He took one look at the numbers and whistled. "Man, she's not finding herself," he said. "She's finding ways to drain you." I laughed bitterly. "Maybe she'll come back once she runs out of money." Jake shook his head. "She'll come back once she runs out of options." Week 2, her tone changed. She called me one evening, voice dreamy and distant. "Ethan, you wouldn't believe how peaceful it feels here," she said. "I met some incredible people. They're helping me grow." I asked, "Are they helping you grow or helping you spend?" She ignored the jab. "There's a retreat in Peru next month," she continued. "I think I need to go." I clenched my jaw. "You just got there." "This is part of my journey. Please, don't make this about money again." "It's about money when you're using my credit card," I said flatly. She sighed, disappointed, like I'd failed a test. That night, another $4,200 disappeared from our account. Flights, retreats, spa treatments, guided hikes. Her adventure was expanding faster than my patience. Jake came over again that Friday. We scrolled through her social media together. Every post was a performance. "She's talking about minimalism while holding a $300 yoga mat," Jake muttered. I stared at her photo, Chloe laughing with strangers under a waterfall. She looked happier than I'd seen her in years. And somehow, that hurt more than anything else. Because I realized she didn't miss me. She missed my money. By the end of the month, the spreadsheet total hit $15,000. I closed my laptop, leaned back, and whispered to myself, "She's not coming back." And deep down, I knew I was right. By the middle of the second month, something changed in her photos. There was a new face appearing again and again. A tall guy with a sunburned smile and messy blonde hair. His name was Liam, according to her captions. At a sacred fire ceremony with Liam and new friends. Hiking into the clouds with beautiful souls like Liam. At first, I thought nothing of it. But then he appeared in every single post. Partner yoga, sunset dinners, beach walks, even in her selfies. It didn't take a genius to connect the dots. I asked her about him during our weekly call. "Oh, Liam, he's just another traveler," she said casually. "We share the same spiritual goals. It's all about growth." "Growth?" I asked. "Looks more like romance to me." She laughed softly, pretending not to understand. "Ethan, not everything is about sex. We're just soul friends." Soul friends? That phrase hit me like a punch. I didn't say another word. But something inside me shut down. A week later, she posted a photo that made my stomach twist. Her head resting on his shoulder, both watching the sunset. The caption said, "Some souls just understand each other." Jake saw it before I did. He texted me the link with one sentence, "Bro, she's gone." I stared at the screen for a long time. It wasn't just betrayal, it was humiliation. She was living a romantic fantasy, funded entirely by me. Meanwhile, I was working 12-hour days just to keep it all afloat. That weekend, Jake came over again. He brought pizza, as usual, but I couldn't eat a single slice. "She's posting love quotes with another guy while you pay her bills," he said. "I can't believe this," I muttered. "She swore she wasn't cheating." "She's not just cheating, Ethan," he said. "She's advertising it." He was right. Every photo looked like a honeymoon postcard. Their smiles, their hands touching, the way he looked at her. I could see the chemistry through the screen. I checked our bank statements again. New charges appeared every few days. Helicopter tour, luxury hotels, fine dining. By then, she had spent over $25,000. And I was done pretending it was about self-discovery. The next day, I called my lawyer. I told him everything. He listened quietly, then said, "Start saving evidence. Every post, every receipt." So I did. I took screenshots of every photo, every caption, every bill. It felt like documenting the death of my marriage, line by line. 2 weeks later, she posted the final proof. A picture of her and Liam kissing on the beach. The caption read, "When you stop searching for love, it finds you." I stared at it for 10 full minutes. My chest felt hollow. My hands were shaking. That was the moment I stopped being her husband. That was the moment I became her banker. And I swore it would end soon. The night after I saw that photo, I didn't sleep. I sat at my desk staring at the numbers, the screenshots, the lies. Every post, every charge, every smile of hers was another knife in my chest. By morning, I called my lawyer. His name was Richard, a calm, older guy who'd seen every kind of heartbreak. When I told him everything, he sighed. "She's documenting her affair in real time," he said. "That makes my job easy." We started building the case that same day. I forwarded him screenshots, credit card statements, travel confirmations. He told me to open a new bank account immediately. "Move your money now," he warned. "She'll come for it when the fantasy ends." I followed his advice. That night, Jake came over again, 2 beers in hand. "So what's the plan?" he asked. "The plan," I said quietly, "is to stop being her fool." For the first time in months, I felt something close to control. I stopped waiting for texts from her. I stopped checking her Instagram stories. I stopped wondering if she'd call. Instead, I focused on my business. Without her drama, my head was clear. I took on 2 new contracts and doubled my workload. Money started pouring in, but for once, it didn't feel like it was for her. It was for me. I started going to the gym again. Boxing at 6 in the morning. Running until my legs burned and my lungs screamed. The anger turned into energy. I bought the Harley I'd always wanted, the one she said was too dangerous. I rode for hours through the countryside, feeling the wind erase her from my thoughts. Each mile made me stronger. Each day made me care less about her. By the 3rd month, business was booming. We finished a big project ahead of schedule, and I gave my crew a bonus. For the first time in years, I felt proud again. That's when I met Grace. She was an interior designer, working with one of my clients. Professional, sharp, confident. She showed up on time, respected everyone, and smiled like she meant it. We talked about work at first, measurements, materials, deadlines. But our conversations started lasting longer. She asked about my company, my goals, my life. When I mentioned my separated wife, she didn't pry. She just said, "Sometimes losing something fake makes space for something real." That sentence stayed in my mind for days. We had coffee a few times, always professional. But something about her steadiness felt like peace. She didn't need to find herself on another continent. She already knew who she was. And in her presence, I started remembering who I was too. While Chloe posted sunsets with her soulmate, I was rebuilding myself piece by piece. Not for revenge. Not for pride. But because I finally realized I was worth saving. 5 months after she left, she came back without warning. I was making coffee before work when I heard keys at the door. The sound froze me. Then I saw her standing there, tan skin, new clothes, 4 suitcases behind her. "Surprise," she said softly. "I'm home." I set my mug down slowly. "What are you doing here, Chloe?" She smiled like nothing had happened. "I live here, remember. This is my home too." I didn't answer. She stepped closer, trying to hug me. "I missed you," she whispered. I pulled back. "You've been gone for 5 months." "I know," she said quickly. "It took longer than I thought, but I learned so much." She looked around the kitchen, pretending to admire it. "I'm ready to be the wife you deserve." "The wife I deserve," I repeated. "You mean the one who cheated?" Her face changed instantly. "What? That's not fair. Liam was just a friend." "A friend you kissed on the beach." She blinked fast, trying to think. Those pictures didn't mean anything. It was just the energy of the place. I laughed bitterly. The energy of betrayal. She tried to switch the subject. You redecorated, she said, glancing toward the living room. Yeah, I also turned your art studio into a gym. Her voice rose. That was my creative space. You abandoned it, I said coldly. You abandoned everything. Her expression cracked. I didn't abandon you, I was trying to grow. You grew expensive, I said, sliding a folder across the counter. She frowned and opened it. Inside was the spreadsheet Jake and I had built. Every flight, hotel, meal, and boutique purchase. Total, $58,000. Her mouth dropped. That's impossible. It's all there, I said quietly. Every dollar you used to find yourself. Tears filled her eyes. You're being cruel, Ethan. I was trying to understand who I am. You did, I said. You're someone who takes, that's who you are. She reached for my arm. Please, don't talk like that, I love you. I looked at her hand, then at her eyes. You love my money. You loved my stability. You never loved me. She started crying harder, desperate now. I made mistakes, but I came back for us. I shook my head slowly. You came back because he left you. Her silence said everything. I took off my wedding ring and placed it on the counter. I wore this for love, I said, not for lies. She looked at the ring, trembling. What does that mean? It means I'm done. That night, she packed her things in silence. I watched her walk out the same door she had left months before. No tears this time. No goodbyes. Only the sound of the door closing behind her, finally setting me free. A week later, I got a letter from her lawyer. She wanted half of everything. Half of my business, the house, the truck, my savings, and monthly support. I read it twice, then laughed out loud. She spent my money to cheat on me, and still thought she deserved more. I called Richard, my lawyer, and sent him the papers. He chuckled when he saw the list. She has no case, he said. She documented her own adultery. We filed a counterclaim the next day. Fraudulent spending, marital abandonment, and infidelity. It wasn't revenge, it was justice. The discovery phase started quickly. Every social post, every receipt, every photo with Liam became evidence. Her side tried to claim she was on a therapeutic retreat. Richard demolished that story in seconds. Therapy doesn't cost 60 grand, he said in court. The judge raised an eyebrow and looked at Chloe's Instagram photos. There she was, drinking champagne, hugging her soulmate, swimming in infinity pools. The courtroom was silent, except for her shallow breathing. She stuttered excuses about spiritual healing and energy alignment. Richard leaned forward. Did that healing include kissing Mr. Liam on the beach? She had no answer. The judge didn't need one. Every lie she told crumbled under evidence she had posted herself. Then came the twist I didn't expect. Richard's investigator found out who Liam really was. Not a free-spirited traveler. A professional con artist who preyed on women with money and broken hearts. He had scammed at least 3 other women across South America. Chloe wasn't his first victim, just his latest fool. When she heard it, her face turned pale. She tried to contact him, but found his accounts deleted, his number gone. He had taken what he wanted and disappeared. Meanwhile, the court ruled entirely in my favor. I kept the business, the house, the vehicles, and my savings. She was ordered to repay every cent she'd spent, $58,000 in total. No alimony, no property, nothing. Just her personal belongings and a mountain of debt. A month later, her sister called me. Chloe's stranded in Australia. She can't afford a flight home. I said she wanted independence. Now she has it. Her parents tried next, begging me to help. I refused. They raised her to take and never give back. Eventually, she made it home when her parents borrowed money for her ticket. She moved back in with them, working retail for $12 an hour. The court made her pay me $300 a month until her debt was cleared. After 2 months, she stopped paying. Richard filed for contempt, and the judge gave her a choice, pay or jail. She paid. 6 months later, I posted one picture online. Me and Grace, smiling at dinner, truly happy. The caption read, "Some people don't need to travel the world to know what love is." Chloe saw it within hours. She texted, begged, and cried. I never replied. For once, silence was the perfect answer. Justice didn't just happen in court. It happened the moment I chose peace over her chaos. Months passed, and my life felt peaceful again. The noise, the chaos, the constant tension were gone. Grace and I grew closer, quietly, naturally, without games. She didn't need drama to feel alive. She just showed up, steady and kind, every single day. My business kept growing, my mind felt clear, and my heart healed. Sometimes, I'd hear from people who saw Chloe working at the mall. They said she looked tired, lost, smaller somehow. I never felt anger anymore, only distance. She chose her path, and I chose mine. One night, I rode my Harley through the countryside under an orange sunset. The wind hit my face, and I realized something. I didn't lose her. I lost the illusion of love that had been holding me hostage. She went looking for herself and found emptiness. I stayed home, faced the pain, and found peace. In the end, I didn't just rebuild my life. I rebuilt myself. And for the first time in years, I wasn't waiting for anyone to come back. Because everything I needed was already right here.